Yo, call me Shadow the way I give an to that tree. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Games Kids. Today, and only today, we are actually here to talk about Mario Kart World. We are now in the 10 days or less countdown territory for the game, and I figured, you know what, since we're so close to the release of the game, we're so close to the release of the Switch 2, which I'm going to cover a lot of, so make sure to subscribe to your boy here if you're new, and make sure to, join us in a new era, because obviously, as always, I'm always going to be, the Sonic guy, but I have a huge love for a lot of Nintendo stuff, and I'm hoping as we enter Switch 2 era, I can cover a lot more of both of the things I'm passionate about, and I hope you guys care enough about me that you'll watch it, so please consider subscribing to your boy, and let's lock in. So today, I wanted to talk about the 10 things I am most excited for when it comes to Mario Kart World, right? Especially at a time where, like, everyone online likes to debate every little thing. I figured, you know what? I just want to talk about excitement today. I just want to talk about what I'm most hyped for, what I'm most happy about, what I can't wait to see the most. And the first thing I want to talk about, and one of the first things, these are not going to be in order, they're just going to be the 10 things I'm most excited for. First things first is the open world, right? Or free roam, like they like to call it. So this has been, the big marketing thing that they've been talking about when it comes to the game, and they had a big interview with Nintendo recently about, how the open world was, the first thing that they really were thinking about when they made the game and how they designed it. And I just can't wait to, like, drive around this open world, right? Like, I cannot wait to drive around and find all, like, the P block missions. They've been, like, doing these little snippets of the P block missions on Nintendo today. If you go, like, online, you can find them everywhere, and they just look so fun. Like, you'll have one, where you're, like, driving between cows. You'll have one where you're doing, like, a little Shy Guy race against the Shy Guys. You'll have the one where you're going on the zip lines. There was one in the new version of Sky High Sunday where, like, it made the tech of the game look so good, where, like, you're jumping onto a wall, down to the track, back onto the wall, into a gliding moment, and it's just like, these are effectively the mission modes from the DS, and according to that direct, there's going to be hundreds of these scattered around the open world. Now, obviously, that I wonder if he literally means hundreds, or if he means, like, 100 plus, but regardless, that is a shit ton of challenges. We know there's, like, these little question blocks you can activate on the ground for some challenges, and it just seems like going through the open world is going to be a blast, right? And I am wondering still, how are they gonna help you find stuff? Because I feel like going through an open world like that, you'd like a bit of direction maybe of where these challenges might be. I mean, maybe there's gonna be a map that, like, indicates you, like, maybe there's, like, a scanner item you can get that'll, like, show you, like, P missions that are close to you. I know there's stuff, like, even when I got to play it at Summer Games Fest, there was, like, a pipe you could take that would take you to secret areas. Like, we know that you can, from footage we've seen from people, you can go in, like, huge vehicles. Like, you can drive into a truck, start controlling a truck. There's a helicopter, we know. I think it was in the Nintendo Direct they did for one of the last pieces of footage they showed, was, like, one of the characters jumping into, like, a helicopter that you can fly through. So there's gonna be crazy stuff. I feel like they have not really shown everything that the open world has to offer. I think we've seen a lot of it, like, we know the gist of it, but it's just gonna be fun to have, like, this whole interconnected world idea. It's gonna be fun because I think in the open world you can also, like, ride on the grass and you're not gonna slow down, right? I think, like, your car is gonna move regularly, so it's just gonna be fun to go off-road, on-road, discover your secrets, discover potential characters. Maybe there are bosses hidden, who really knows? Like, that's something that I feel like they could be hiding too. I don't know yet, but something tells me there's a few things in this open world that we have yet to see that they're hiding, whether we'll see in a launch trailer for the game or something. I just feel like something's gonna go down in that open world, you know what I mean? And I feel like I just can't wait to just ride around it, not even just solo, but with friends. I know you're allowed to drive around the open world with your friends and take pictures. I can't wait to take a bunch of pictures with people. That's gonna be great. But yeah, no, open world, of course, is the first and foremost thing I am most excited for. Second thing, this is a very specific one. I'm really excited for Rainbow Road, because we have seen, or we know at least, all the tracks that are in the game. But in the last Nintendo Direct, they teased that, if you beat all the Grand Prix, you unlock Rainbow Road. So Rainbow Road isn't just, a track you have unlocked in a cup. Rainbow Road is an area in the sky. And I'm wondering, right, because, like, you theoretically would want Rainbow Road to be in a Grand Prix. I'm wondering if, because you unlock it, that, like, there's gonna be a Rainbow Road Cup potentially, where it's like maybe it's gonna be like a 3-track cup where it's like all these Rainbow Road tracks in the sky, something like that. I don't know, like I feel like I don't know if Rainbow Road is just going to be this one mega track in the sky, which they could do theoretically, or if it's going to be like 2 or 3 Rainbow Roads that are up there. I don't know. It seemed to me from like that little snippet we saw of like the rainbow going to the sky in the direct, it seems like that was really teasing what the potential might be for Rainbow Road. And we know like the open world has like these sky areas, right? Like there's the one level called City Block Ruins that's in the sky, so you can go to the sky in certain parts of the game. So I'm really curious when it comes to Rainbow Road what they're going to be doing. Obviously Rainbow Road has always been the star of the show, but are they going to go with multiple, or is it going to be one mega Rainbow Road? Who really knows? But I'm really excited about that potential. The next one is the tech, right? The gimmick of this game, as we saw in the direct, is the jump button, right? You have the whole thing where you can jump, and you know this jump allows you to jump onto a wall, jump onto a rail grind, etc., right? And you can jump off the walls and everything. And this is seeming, the more you see it, you know, from different clips or footage, the crazier it seems, bro. I mean, like this really is taking everything you know about a racetrack and expanding it, right? Because now, like again, they said this in an interview recently, like they're aware that when you're going intermission courses, like they have these thing called intermission courses where like you're driving from one track to another. A lot of them can be straight lines with some curves, but with this jump mechanic, you can like use it to like hold down, jump onto an enemy, then you can jump onto a rail grind, then you can jump onto a wall, right? Or you can rail grind up. I've seen the clips of like you rail grinding up like, you know, a Golden Gate Bridge type thing, and you could jump down to the middle where there's like a glider section. Like that is going to be something. And that's the thing, is like when people talk about like the footage they've seen, and how like simple, quote unquote, some of the tracks can look, I really think it's because no one has truly sat down and learned these mechanics, which I think the game is going to teach you via doing, you know, the missions in the open world. But the jump tech, I think, is going to be a game changer. I mean, you're about to see 24 racers, you know, jumping onto walls, into another player's head, getting a trick off of them, going into a glide section, right onto a wall, into a grind rail, like to the side of a wall. Like there's going to be crazy stuff that people have not accounted for that I'm going to see people try, and it's going to be so cool. Like we are about to see, I think, the most like crazy tech style Mario Kart ever. Now, in some way, are people gonna be so good at it that sometimes it might be hard to get first place? I don't know. It's still Mario Kart. There's still items. You know, a red shell's still gonna screw over the best player in the world. You know, so I think regardless, there's always gonna be that balance. But I really think learning that tech is going to be fun in and of itself, because there isn't really tech you can learn in Mario Kart like 8. Like in Mario Kart 8, like with the boost thingy, like the anti-grab, you can bump into people for boost, but it's effectively the same track, you know? Whereas like here, it feels like you have some creative input of what actions you're gonna go with. Do I want to go traditional path because I have these items? Do I want to go to a top path where no one bothers me? Or maybe one guy's gonna bother me and that's gonna become my problem. Like there's all these sorts of things that, you know, bring that to discussion. I cannot wait for the tech. The fourth thing, of course, characters, right? The heart and soul, I mean, one of the hearts and souls, of course, of Mario Kart is the racing, right? The characters, right? And you know, Mario Kart 8 was heavily criticized when it first launched for having like a really slim roster, and this game seems to be fixing that, because not only do you have basically 50 plus base characters in the game, but effectively all of them have costumes, leading to the character count or choice count to like 140, right? But even then, like 50-60 characters at launch looks incredible, right? And not only that, it's just like you're getting some of the best looking versions of these characters, right? You got Mario with some of the silliest faces, you've got him with all his different gear, you got Peach, who looks chef's kiss with all of her costumes that you see in the direct and other footage and stuff. Like you see Daisy with her Rosalind fit, you see Luigi with his biker fit and his, you know, little, you know, Italian fit, and it's like you have the characters who have all their base new animations. You have each of their costumes have unique animations too, right? You know, you have all more expressiveness with the characters, and of course the introduction of the NPC characters. So they have a new class of characters These guys don't get costumes, and that's going to be the enemies that were in the open world that they've made characters. So like the cow, the conch door, as they have playable, the bitty bug, right? The literal like dry bones fish, you know, the dolphin. Like they have a shit ton of silly characters. I can't wait to play as so many of them. You got the Wiggler in there who's playable. You know, you got sadly have Spike playable, but I want to play as the bitty bug, riding the bitty bug, because that sounds great. But it's like the characters, of course, are like the heart and soul of the game. Of course, you know, the cards are important too, but yeah, I just can't wait to see all the animations, figure out who I want to main. I feel like this is one of those games, and this is kind of how I felt about Smash Ultimate, where like, because there were so many character options, maining one or two characters just wasn't enough. You know, I just felt like I wanted to main a bunch of characters and jump between a bunch of characters and their costumes and just try out everybody. And of course, in the comment section below, let me know what you guys, which character you guys want to use the most. Of course, number 5, how could I forget to talk about the tracks, right? The tracks, of course, are the other heart and soul of the series. I mean, after a decade plus of playing in tracks from Mario Kart 8 that I adore, I am ready for new ones, you know? And of course, with Mario Kart tracks, I could play them forever, but all the new tracks I've seen are just so good. Even some of the ones I played, like Mario Bros. Circuit, looks like such a good iteration of the track. You know, you got Crown City, which is like this big city area. You've got Whistle Top Summit, which I haven't seen too much of, but we know is in DK Spaceport that they showed in the Nintendo Switch Live event, where like you're climbing up the DK Space Tower. You got Desert Hills. You've got the remake of Shy Guy Bazaar. You've got Wario Stadium in there. Airship Fortress that looks crazy. There's gonna be DK Pass, Starview Peak, which is this like new Ice Rosalina track that looks crazy. Sky High Sunday, that was in Mario Kart 8 as DLC, looks in there but completely revamped, which is crazy. Wario Shipyard looks completely different, and there's a bunch of retro tracks from Koopa Troopa Beach, Fairway. Well, Fairway Oasis is a new one. You've got Pete Stadium, looks crazy. Like this looks like it's like the middle big showcase track of it. Peach Beach is in there. There's Dino Jungle from GameCube, and like the tracks that are retro look so new that they're effectively just new tracks. We know Toad Factory's in there, so I think, you know, when it came to the game, of course there's going to be like 30, I think it's going to be like 32 tracks total, which I know, going off of 96 plus tracks by the end of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's run with the booster course pack, is nowhere near as much, but I'm sure the game's gonna build off that, and we'll talk about it. But I don't know, for me, like, quality new tracks that were gonna be here for a long time is gonna mean something. And what's cool is I think the tracks are all gonna have different versions of them, because one, we have the weather system, so you know you're gonna get to play these tracks during the day, during the night, during the rain. You're gonna have the Grand Prix versions of them, or like the, you know, where like you have the intermission courses where you can race from one track to another and it's like one big lap. Or apparently you can make them have a version that's like versus race, where it is like a 3-lap course like usual. So it seems like they're gonna do it that way for some of the tracks, where you're gonna be able to loop around it, because I do know there were some people worried that like, I don't want to just play one lap of a, you know, new race. I want to be able to, you know, do the traditional loop. But it seems like you'll be able to turn off the intermissions and do your traditional 3-lap Mario Kart. But yeah, like I said, of course, heart and soul of the series comes from characters and the racetracks. And let me know, of course, what your favorite racetrack is looking like. But I can't wait, man. I mean, there was the one that I played. What was it? It was at the event, and I think it was the one where you're like driving up the rooftops. I think it was the Space Mountain one, and it's just like, it just looks so good, it feels so good. God, bro, I can't wait. Of course, for the 6th option here, I want to talk about Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour is this big event mode. This is gonna be the content. I mean, this straight up is going to be the content machine, right? So this mode, you guys have seen it a bunch. It's the whole thing where like, now that there's 24 racers, you know, you go through a track and now boom, if you're not in the top 20, you're out. If you're not in the top 16, you're out. If you're not in the top 14, you're out, right? Until it builds up to being the #1 racer. And this, I'm telling you, like, this is one that I think is going to be fun regardless. Competitively, I think it's going to be super fun, but I think especially as a content creator here that's going to do a lot of streams with you guys and people here, I think that is going to be a big one, bro. I mean, it just, the intensity of it is where it's gonna come from. That heart beating moment where like you're like holding your position in the front and you're worried about what's behind you. You're trying to stay alive, right? Like that is gonna be the mode with, I think, the most high intensity, most fun, really. And then doing the thing where you're choosing the path you go when you're playing it, or choosing which path you take, is gonna be awesome. And it's just like, for me, the knockout tour seems like it's gonna be like, I think that's gonna be the star of the show, to be honest with you. I really do think when, you know, all said and done, reviewers come out with it and what modes we choose to play, knockout tour is gonna be a big one. Of course, there's gonna be people that won't want to play it because like they don't always sort of be like, all right, well, now I have to sit here till everyone's done. Obviously, they're gonna leave the lobby, but if you're playing with your friends or stuff, sitting there waiting might take a little bit, but it'll be worth it, man. You get to watch, have some fun, and, you know, just don't lose, bro. Don't have a skill issue. Of course, for number 7 here, you know, not that they're numbered, but secrets, right? I want to know what secrets are hidden in this game, right? And these are like little things, right, that I'm excited for. Like, for example, we know from an interview that for doing the P block challenges in the open world, you unlock these stickers that you can add to your car, right? But like, for me, it's always like the little things, like what do you get for 100%ing the open world, right? What do you get for doing maybe like every achievement or every thing? You know, what do you get for unlocking every car? Is there the gold vehicle this time around? Like, is there going to be an alternate version of the main menu screen if you 100% it, where like, you know, a bunch of racers are going next to Mario? Like little stuff like that I'm really curious of. Or even, of course, like I said, in the open world that I talked about earlier, what secrets are going to be there, what little stickers, what little Easter eggs we're going to find. I feel like that's such like a big part of, you know, this game, especially with an open world. And in general, a lot of the Mario Kart games, like I've always liked, like, you know, 3-5 star in the cups, even something small like in Mario Kart 8, where like if you 3-star the Grand Prix, you get like the different art when you open the game, and the different characters say Mario Kart 8, stuff like that. And that's something that, like, it's a small thing, but something I care about when it comes to that. Same reason I like to 100% like a Mario game, just to know like, hey, I have my file with like that's in gold now, right? Or I have like the 5 little stars next to it. So stuff like that. I can't wait for my secrets. Of course, another huge thing I want to talk about here is the music, right? The music is going to be incredible. So we recently got confirmation that there is over 200 orchestrated new tracks from across the Mario series that they have made for this game to play alongside you when you're free roaming, right? And that alone, for me, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, is worth the price of admission. I love music in video games, right? And I think there's such an important part of the game. And to me, the idea that we got over 200 remix track, like songs, is gonna be incredible. So that's like 200 songs that they orchestrated from across the series, probably not counting the 30 songs that are for the new tracks, you know? So that's probably over like, what, 230 songs in the game. But alone, for me, the jukebox mode that you can pick in the open world is gonna be worth it. I cannot wait to find out all the songs in the game. Maybe you can even unlock songs. Like, that would be a fun unlockable. It's like, if you don't have all the songs unlocked right away, and the more you go to different areas, you can unlock more tracks. Like that's exciting to me, right? That if I do an open world challenge, I unlock a music track, and because then it'll be exciting. I get to play the song and it'll be great. Like, for me, music is such a core part of it, especially like Mario Kart 8 kind of changed Mario Kart music forever. Mario Kart's always had bangers, but like ever since 8 introduced the whole big band, where everything is very like jazzy, orchestrated, like loud, bombastic, it's changed, I think, the music direction forever. And it seems like from the main theme of World, you know, to some of the track songs we've heard, to even some of the remixes we've heard of songs, when people have shown footage of it online, like, it just sounds incredible. And again, for me, like 200 plus songs, it's gonna be worth it for just that alone, bro. And of course, number 9 here that I want to discuss, that I think is a big one, DLC, right? I know it's early to talk about DLC in a game that's not even out yet, but for me, like, you know, this is a game that feels poised and obvious for DLC, right? With all these character costumes that they already have, it feels like it's gonna be an easy thing to, you know, maybe every month or two add some new costumes. Maybe and that's my thing that I'm like worried about, is the Mario Kart team is weird, right? Like, we went a long time between the launch of 8 to DLC of 8, right? And then we went a long time between, you know, 8 and Deluxe, right, where we got battle mode fixed. And then we went years without DLC until we got the booster course pass. So I'm really curious to know what's going to be their content roadmap, because there's 100% going to be a content roadmap. I mean, this game is going to get content, no doubt, right? But I do hope like that it's sooner rather than later. Of course, they want people to enjoy the base game, learn it, have fun with it, and they don't have to rush to announce DLC, but I'm sure it's going to come, right? And I would like it to be kind of what they did with 8, where they do a little bit of crossover fun, right? You know how they had Legend of Zelda stuff, or Animal Crossing stuff, or even Splatoon with the battle mode. Like, I want more of that stuff. But what's exciting about DLC this time around is because we have the open world, they kind of have to factor that in, right? Like, okay, like now you're gonna have potentially, you know, a DLC collab with Donkey Kong, maybe for Bonanza, and maybe there's gonna be like a new DK area in the game. Now, they have to find a way to connect that with the open world. Is it gonna be like, is there gonna be like a pipe you go in the open world, like for DLCville? Are they gonna find a way to like put these things in the middle of the open world? But I don't know if they can do that, because that would fundamentally change the lay of the land. But maybe the game almost becomes a Fortnite in that sense, right? Where the map changes and expands over time. But I have a feeling they're not going to, because they've designed the interconnected world in such a specific way. So I think if they're gonna do DLC islands, they're gonna be like right next to the base game, or like it's, you know, gonna be a side path that you drive along to, right, in a different area. So that's gonna be like something I'm really excited about for what they're gonna do for crossovers. I would love to see them do something, you know, because Kirby Air Riders is happening. I'd love to see a crossover with that, add Kirby to the game. That'd be dope. You know, don't just give me Link and Animal Crossing again. You know, I love a Pikmin track. You know, we know Miyamoto loves Pikmin. That would be a good one. Do something weird, like put Paper Mario or something in the game, right? Do F-Zero, but give me Captain Falcon, please. Like, that would be a nice one if he was actually in the game as a playable racer. You know, put Star Fox in. Like, Star Fox would be so sick. Could you imagine a space track with Star Fox, and, you know, you had Fox and the Cloud in the card? Like, something like that would be cool. And again, I don't need the game to become Smash Bros, but I do like the idea of the game inviting more Nintendo characters, right? Because Nintendo, like, I think it's a very different thing when you're crossing over with third parties versus crossing over with Nintendo, where the conversation is more controlled. I mean, the ARMS team worked on this game. Put some ARMS characters in there. You know, put Min Min and Spring Guy in a cart. You know, put the Ribbon Girl in a cart. That'd be super fun. Like, they could have a lot of fun with the game. Yeah, and of course in the comments let me know what kind of DLC you would like to see. But yeah, but like, they have a lot of options now, between extra costumes, maybe some new hard mode challenges. We still don't know the fate of 200cc, which we'll talk about in a little bit here, but I just can't wait to see what they do with DLC. I was saying a theory that I wonder if, like, down the line, because when they showed some of the concept art of the game, and it showed one of the concept art pieces was Bowser, and he had a little side thingy with Bowser Jr. next to him. And I'm wondering if they are experimenting and thinking of down the line adding a double dash mode. I don't know why this has been in my head, but I feel like because of how insanely big the roster is, and, you know, with the Switch 2's power, I feel like they might find a way to add some kind of double dash mode to the game. Maybe I'm coping, but I don't know. I have a feeling, whether it's in a year from now or 2 years from now, I think they might add one to the game, but we'll see. Maybe I am crazy. And of course, before I get to the thing that I think for me is the most important, I did want to get some honorable mentions. I'm excited for battle mode, right? Battle mode is it's a fun one, right? It's something that, like, you know, I always look forward to jumping into battle mode every so often, but it's not something I'm hella excited for. The stickers, you know, we know you can unlock stickers for the car. I can't wait to just do little customizations. And of course, the carts, right? I didn't put them in the, you know, the main top 10, but I'm excited for the carts. You know, of course, they're just like, there's something that you pick, but, you know, I like picking a good cart, right? And I'm glad, I've said this before, I'm happy cart customization is gone. Like, I'm glad it's just, hey, here's a vehicle we handcrafted for you. Pick it, you know, instead of like, here's Baby Wheel with like a giant car with like an ugly glider, like these like almost eldritch things you created, which were cool for that era. But I like when things are handcrafted like that. So I can't wait to see all the carts that they have. The thing that's most exciting for me, and this is gonna be the cheesy one, it's the memories, man. I mean, I have been playing Mario Kart 8 for, like I said, over a decade, right? I think the game came out 2013, 2014, I think 2014 or something. It is now 2025. I've been playing this game for over 11 years, and I played it, you know, throughout university, throughout college, throughout, you know, my first 5 years of my streaming career. It's a game that has meant a lot for me in terms of playing with my friends and family and all the fun times I've had. And so this game potentially is gonna last, another 7 to 10 years potentially. I just can't wait for all the memories. I can't wait for all the laughs we're gonna have, all the rage that it's gonna give me, all the dumb conversations, all the hype moments between DLC, between learning stuff, between knockout tours, Grand Prix versus going around the open world, taking pictures with friends. I feel like memories are really what make Mario Kart at the end of the day, right? And I just feel like with especially how long I've played every Mario Kart in my life, genuinely, like especially except like the SNES one. Like I grew up playing N64 when I grew up with memories with Double Dash, memories with Wii, right? Memories with 8, even DS or 7, and even the GBA one. So it's a series that's very near and dear to my heart. And so for me, the memories that we're going to be able to make with this game, like I get to make with my friends, and of course, you guys in the community, 24 racers is going to be incredibly fun. But like, that's something I'm incredibly excited about. The chaos is going to double there, and even the items, right? Of course, I can't wait for the new items and stuff. But yeah, I mean, for me, like the memories are the most important part, and that is what I'm most excited for. So guys, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you guys are most excited for when it comes to Mario Kart World. Again, I'm going to be covering the shit out of it when it comes to, reaction to all the tracks, to the open world, highlight videos. All this stuff will all be coming your way. Let me know, of course, what you're most excited for down below. I love you. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.